Have you ever got a fit of the giggles at a really inappropriate time, say during a funeral or during a lecture? And maybe at the time you tried to cover your face or think of an unhappy thought to stop yourself from laughing out loud. Well, this is an example of emotion regulation, which is very common in our everyday social interactions, and they're heavily rooted on our set of implicit display rules, which tell us which emotions we should display, which ones we should hide, and in what situations. Now, in our everyday social interactions, the costs of breaking these display rules aren't generally too serious. We don't need to lose sleep over it, we don't need to lose money over it, we don't need to lose our jobs over it, but what if we could? So when this type of emotion regulation occurs in the workplace, in line with organisational display rules, it's known as emotional labour. And in these situations, the consequences for letting the mask slip or melt away are much more serious. So for example, if you're dealing with a customer complaint and you get a fit of the giggles and start laughing in their face, you know that's not okay, they know that's not okay, and your employer knows that's not okay. So suddenly, your job is on the line for breaking an unwritten rule. Now, because of their implicit nature, where do we learn these rules? And this is the tricky part. Because we don't just learn emotional display rules from our job, we've been learning them from the moment we're born, and they're very socially and culturally guided. And one huge influencer of this is the role of gender. So firstly, occupations themselves are shown to be gendered, and that authoritarian and disciplinarian roles are seen as more male, and those requiring more nurturing and caring roles are seen as more female. Research has also shown that emotions themselves have become gendered, with anger and pride being seen more as male emotions, and everything else being more associated with females. So what then does this mean for the employee who is working in an occupation heavily dominated by the opposite gender? What does this mean for the male midwife or the female debt collector? Will they, or can they, perform the duties in the same way as their opposite gender co-workers? So these are the questions that I'll be attempting to answer within my research, with an aim at better understanding the difficulties faced by employees in these situations, and to ultimately assist in tackling the gender divide in our workforce.